have to be on the recording if you do not wish to be. If you do not wish to be on the recording, simply keep your screen off and submit questions through the chat. As a reminder, if you are a direct abutter, you do have the option of either asking questions through the chat, or when the presentation is over, we will open it up to abutters who wish to speak or ask questions out loud, just as a reminder. My name is Margaret Farmer, and I am co-chair of the Jeffreys Point Neighborhood Association. Rachel?
Yep, I'm Rachel Bloomerth. I am the other co-chair of the Jeffreys Point Neighborhood Association. Andrew?
I'm Andrew Pike. I'm the treasurer.
I'm Mary Cole. I'm the secretary.
And Judy Restrepo, who is also a board member, may be joining us a little bit later. She is in the middle of transporting from one space to another. Do we have any, Andrew, do you see anybody who's here who's on the phone?
Sorry, someone was messaging me in here. I was responding. I do not.
Okay. And I do see a couple of representatives of some of our local officials. Ricardo Patron from City Councilor Lydia Edwards' office, Stephen Greengrass from State Rep Modero's office. I'm trying to change pages here, so if anybody else sees anyone. Okay. And if they do join us late, we will be happy to join them out, but to call them out to everyone.
Sorry, I put my thumbs up, but I'm Paola from Senator Montgomery's office.
Oh, sorry about that. Your name gets cut off. I apologize.
No, it's totally cool. It's a real name.
Well, we're glad to have you here. Thank you very much. A couple of announcements. This Saturday is the Love Your Block event, which is the neighborhood cleanup event. And this Saturday is the 15th, and we will start at 10 a.m. We will be picking up trash, pulling weeds, and spreading mulch in Brophy, Porzio, and the Golden Stairs Terrace Park, also known as the Albert Jr. Lombardi Garden. We'd like to thank Cargo Ventures for a generous donation, as we will be planting the flowers that they have donated this weekend as well. This is open to everyone, and everyone is encouraged to attend. We have a large group of volunteers joining us for Massport, and we want to outnumber Massport. That's the goal. We want to outnumber Massport and have a good time all together seeing our neighbors. It runs we will start at 10 a.m. And we ask you to stay as long as you would like. We usually end around 1-ish at the latest. And it is a great way to meet your neighbors and be a part of the community. So all are welcome. And a special thank you to Mary Cole, who is our organizer of this wonderful event. So thank you very much, Mary. As some of you may have noticed, we had originally discussed last month that Anne and Chuck Lagasse would be present at this particular meeting. Unfortunately, we did have a schedule change, and they are not going to be joining us. We have rescheduled them for next month. I believe it's June 14th, although we will confirm that and announce it again at the end of the meeting. And they will be joining us at that time. If you have any questions, we encourage you to email the board at board@jeffreyspoint.org, talk to any board member, or please feel free to check the minutes from last month's meeting. Our neighbors from Down East Cider have asked to make a quick announcement about an event this summer. I'm looking for Nick Sudheimer. Are you here, Nick?
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, excellent. Go right ahead.
Sure. So details are still being finalized here, but I wanted just to give the JPNA a quick heads up that we are looking to do a pop-up style event in the shipyard this summer. So Andrew, I believe I had sent you a potential mock-up of what that might look like. Again, we're still trying to work these things out, but we look like we have most of the permitting and all that needed. So what that event would look like would be a small pop-up in the shipyard where we do it recurring throughout the summer. And so I wanted just to give the JPNA a heads up, and as I get more details, I can certainly come back and present. But overall, it's a pretty simple concept. They're just taking some tables and going to be hosting some events in the shipyard throughout the summer. And if anybody has any questions, they can feel free to reach out to Down East. My email address is just nick@downeastcider.com, and we're certainly looking to get feedback from the community if there's anything that we can do to be better neighbors, as always.
So I heard what you said, that you're still kind of putting this together. Like
Yep.
at the moment, as you're visioning, do you envision this more of like a Saturday afternoon thing, as a Friday night thing? Like, could you share some of your thoughts?
Yeah, sure.
And with the understanding that we won't hold you to it.
Yeah, it's so our thoughts are that for anyone who's not familiar with Down East, we are open Thursday through Sunday as a tasting room. What we're looking to do is take those same hours, but just open that up to an outdoor space. So it'd be a recurring event. So it would be Thursday through Sunday. Thursday the hours would be 5 to 8. Friday would be 5 to 9. Saturday would be 11 to 8, and then Sunday would be 12 to 7. So the thoughts just basically to kind of expand our taproom space down there, but there would just be a series of recurring events throughout the summer. So think something like Trillium Spot on the Greenway, or Night Shifts Owl's Nest on the Esplanade, where it's some picnic tables and they set up some taps to pour beers to people on a recurring basis.
Okay, so it sounds a bit more like a beer garden than a pop-up. Is that an accurate kind of?
Yeah, I guess just nomenclature of how you want to put that. So yeah, it's a recurring like one day type event that we do over and over again throughout the summer. That is like technically the permit we have to apply for, but yeah, a beer garden in our case would be a cider garden. Is I guess would maybe be more familiar for some people.
Okay. I would like to call out that there have been a lot of concerns around pedestrians and traffic. And in particular at the intersection of Orleans and Marginal, which I know is outside of the shipyard, but I would just encourage you to make sure you, if people are going to be walking there, which we would highly encourage, that you include on there to just stay on the sidewalks, and, anything you can do for pedestrian safety is really appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we've had a couple of incidents at that intersection that are worrisome.
Certainly, yeah, and that's part of why I wanted to come to present too. As those are things that I didn't know that beforehand. If there's things that we can do to be better neighbors, we're always here for that too. So that's part of why I wanted to be part of the announcements as well, just so people know that they have somebody to reach out to at Down East as we start to put plans into motion.
Okay, and can we share? I know you said your address out loud, but can we share your email address in our chat?
Yeah,
to make
absolutely.
it easier for people.
Yeah. I think if I just send it through this chat here, it goes to you, Andrew, and you guys can share it.
Yep. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Appreciate it, Nick. And please do keep us up to date as your plans become more formalized. And then moving right along, this evening we are joined by one of several of our finest. Danny Simons is our liaison with our local police department, and we will let him go next.
Let me unmute myself. Hello, thanks for having me. Am I the only one on tonight? It's a little difficult now with the Zoom. I don't realize if someone else is in another room or another part of the building and they're on too. So, we're not all standing here together like we usually do it in front of the group. But anyway, thanks for having me, Margaret, as always. Let's see, we're in a much better place this year than we were last year at this time. I think everybody can say that, especially with the pandemic and the whole shutdown, and it looks like we're seeing a little light at the end of the tunnel. But some of the things that were really plaguing us last year around this time were the car breaks. I think I mentioned that a couple of times. At this point last year, we had 112 car breaks in the East Boston area, and mostly they boarded Jeffreys Point, Maverick, that Gulf Street area. We're at 43 at this point this year, which is right around our 5-year average. That's 43 too many. We still want to tell people to make sure you lock up your vehicles. We call these crimes of opportunity. Unfortunately, in East Boston, we have a population of people that will, just try to, take whatever they can if they see a vehicle unlocked or if they see valuables in there. We mentioned that sometimes it just takes one person or two people to do a little mini crime wave, and that definitely proved it last year when we had that many car breaks. But our numbers are way down. We're really happy with that. House breaks, we haven't had a reported house break in a couple of weeks in East Boston, which is really good. And before I get further along, let's see, robberies. We haven't had any reported robberies in close to a month, which is really good because sometimes we'll get the late night street robberies, and we haven't had any reported robberies for about a month. No reported house breaks for a couple of weeks, and the car breaks are way down. We did have some house breaks up on Eagle Hill. Our officers and detectives arrested a guy that was coming over from Chelsea, and he admitted to about 6 or 7 house breaks in the Eagle Hill area. And it seems like he was responsible for that little mini crime wave and how we mentioned before. So we're really happy. Car breaks are down. Car breaks are down. House breaks are down. We were having an issue last year around the same time with cars being vandalized around the Gove Street, Chelsea Street, around the health center. Somebody was going around late at night scratching motor vehicles. Our officers did catch someone in the act. They arrested them. It turned out to be a mental health issue. He was placed somewhere where he could seek some help for his mental health issues. He was recently released, and unfortunately, they started it up again. That same gentleman was rearrested again a couple of weeks ago for the same issues, and he is now, somewhere, hopefully getting some help with his mental health issues that he was going around doing these car vandalisms. So, causing a lot of damage, causing a lot of issues for people having to have their, vehicles fixed. So hopefully with him being off the street, that'll come to an end. Warm weather's coming. We're moving right along. We're in May. Summer months are coming. We always say, please don't wait till, the meetings to let us know about any issues that are coming up. Loud music complaints. Please call 911 for any loud music complaints. As we've mentioned in the past, if it's busy on the weekend and our officers can't get to it, make sure you follow up with a call to our office. I'll go on the chat when I'm done, and I'll put our contact information for those that don't have it. Please email us, give us a phone call, and we'll follow up with the loud music complaints. Otherwise, Margaret, if there's any questions, or we're going to go through the chat.
Officer Simons, I actually have one
Yes, sir.
thing I wanted to bring up. I frequent the Quiet View bar on Friday evenings pretty frequently, and right now all of their seating is outside, so I have a perfect view of the intersection of Sumner Street and Cottage Street, and it is extremely concerning to me the number of cars that are flying through that intersection without stopping. And I'm not talking about like a rolling stop here. I'm talking like blatantly not even touching their brakes.
Yeah.
And if it were like 1 or 2, I'd be like, whatever, that's, people do that. But this is like a considerable amount of cars in like a couple hour period while I'm there.
Okay.
I think it's probably time we have somebody sitting there on Friday evenings, because it's someone's going to get hurt. That's a very heavy pedestrian intersection as well.
And what are the times? What's a good time?
So,
I know it probably happens all time.
It probably does, but for some, I have noticed that the intersection is really busy, like between like 6 and 8 on Friday. Okay. And the people flying through there, I mean, someone's gonna, because people step out into the crosswalk, as pedestrians, thinking that someone's gonna stop at the stop sign.
Yeah.
And I've seen a couple close calls, so it's just something that I thought I should bring up at the next meeting. So I wanted to make sure you were aware it was happening.
No, absolutely. Listen, this isn't something that it's going on in a lot of different intersections in East Boston. We try to have our officers bounce around and move around wherever we get a complaint. So we'll definitely have someone out there. That's a good time. Friday between 6 and 8. We definitely should be able to have somebody available to. So hopefully you'll see some visibility in the near future.
Okay,
Definitely.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
Absolutely. Yeah, no problem. Anything else, or should I monitor the chat for questions, or?
I was just gonna say, Andrew, has anything else come through the chat as questions? That's a good sign.
Just to reiterate, since someone was asking which intersection, it was the intersection of Sumner Street and Cottage Street. So right
Sumner
at
Cottage,
where
yeah.
the quiet view is.
Yeah. Yep.
Mary, do you have your hand up? Is that what?
I do. I just wanted to say that
Go ahead, Mary.
the contact sheet for the police department is on the JPNA website under resources. So it has all of the email addresses and phone numbers. So if you're looking for a way to contact Dan and his colleagues, go to the JPNA website, jeffreyspoint.org, and look under resources.
Thank you, Mary. I appreciate that. It'll save me a little time. Thank you.
Someone stated, driveway out to the barber shop, someone. Okay, that's just a comment. I guess someone's commenting that Saturday is also an issue at the intersection. But I'm always there on Friday and never go
Yeah.
Saturday. So I haven't seen it myself. But
No,
someone is
I know.
mentioning it.
I'm sure it's an issue 7 days a week, and I wish we could have somebody there 7 days a week. You know,
Yeah.
but what we do is we can just bounce around. Not exaggerating. We probably have about 60 different intersections that people will, call us and let us know that, there are cars going through the stop sign and things like that. So we try to move around and address 1 or 2 a week, here or there, and move the officers around. But
It's
we'll
just
definitely-
really surprising the number of cars that are doing it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm talking like in a 2-hour time period, I probably see 10.
Yeah. No,
So-
I don't know. Somewhere along with this pandemic, I think somebody just told that the rules of the road don't apply anymore, and we can speed and not stop for stop signs, and it's really gotten crazy. But yeah, we definitely need to have a little more enforcement out there. Yeah, definitely.
And this person is asking a question that I know isn't something that you would handle, but I'm just going to bring it up just to have said it. Related question: do we have the ability to look into speed bumps or other ways to address speeding on Sumner Street? That I believe is something that's handled by Boston Transportation Department.
Correct.
Correct.
So that would be
Correct.
a different department, and definitely is something that can be looked at.
Yeah.
But
I know, and I know in years past, the city was doing a lot of that traffic calming studies with bump outs on the islands and things like that to kind of slow traffic down a little bit. I think they kind of like to shy away from speed bumps because of the snow plowing in the wintertime. But,
Yeah.
they might have a better idea. Transportation, that's up their alley. If you want to, contact them or put the question out there to 311.
Yeah, that's the BTD Slow Streets program.
Yeah.
We actually the JPNA actually did apply to it the 3 times that it came out.
Yeah.
And unfortunately we were not chosen. But if it came out again, we would, I believe we would certainly want to apply it again. Yeah. Okay. Mary, did you have another question and then we'll move on? No. Okay.
that's all.
Okay, great.
Thank you,
And now-
guys.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Officer Simons. We appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
We will see you again next month.
Okay. Thank you.
So next up, an issue I know that many people are excited to hear about. We have a proposed restaurant at 303 Sumner Street. It is being represented this evening by Carlos, and I apologize if I do not say your name correctly, Echeverria, and he is with the San Angel Group, who's in charge of the process for the proposed Santa Fe Burrito Grill at 303 Sumner Street.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Just let me know if you can hear me well. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, for some reason, I really apologize. I'm connecting from Colombia right now. But if you don't hear me, just let me know, please. Our proposal, thank you for inviting me, and we are so excited to be part of the community of East Boston. We have been looking to be part of the community for a long time, and finally we got a great spot. Our idea is to have a new alternative for the whole community. Who we are. Santa Fe Burrito Grill is a local family business with the 3 locations around Massachusetts. Is to offer fast casual Mexican food with fresh ingredients and traditional recipes. Trust me, it's not because I'm part of the business of Santa Fe Burrito Grill, but our food and our concept It's amazing. You will love it. What is the whole idea? As you know, with the pandemic, we discovered that people like things a little faster, and especially we have less time. What we are doing right now is to present a fast casual service, as you are going to see. You just get into the restaurant, you get in line, you pick up the items that you have. You can make a bowl salad, or you can make nachos, get a protein, and just if you decided to go take it home, you can do it, or order online, you can do it, or if you want to sit down and enjoy just your option, you can do it. That's the concept, the way that we work in our restaurants. Something else that we really want to present is that the location, we are going to be located in Sumner Street. Okay, as you can see in this presentation, you will see the menu. It's a very simple menu. Our menu has the protein, we have the drinks, we have also, we are asking and presented for a full license liquor, a full liquor license. Why? We are not a bar, just to let you know, we are not a bar, we are not a nightclub, but we love to offer also to our customers margaritas, because you know how nice it is to get a nachos, a couple margaritas, or probably just to take it home. As you can see there, we have also the option to take it home. And for to have those kind of drinks, beers or margaritas, we will have to qualify for a full liquor license. The location where we are, even that it's a small space, it has an amazing layout. If we can move to the next slide, please. Let's see. Oh yes, this is our food. This is the presentation that we have. Make your choice, and even we have churros and everything else. In the next one, we are going to see that you have two options to dine in, and especially in this location, we are going to have a small patio at the back. So it will help us, and it will be nice in summertime, you know, to have a choice to sit at the back, to sit inside, or to take it home. The next one, as you are going to see, that's going to be the layouts. Remember, this is just a render that we have there. We are going to have, as you can see, you enter to the main door, go to the back, order in line at the back, and then have the choice to sit on the front or on the patio. The operation hours is from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Why we are thinking about this time? Also remember that we have our schedule is going to be Monday to Sunday. Why Sunday? Because the whole idea is that, you know, sometimes you don't really want to cook, or you don't really want to go far away, you don't really want to take your car or move from home. You just can call in order your dinner, your lunch, all at the same time. Just go on into the location that we have in order what you really need. And the next one, this is our concept, you know, try to make this location friendly for everybody. You know, it's not going to be just for adults, it's not going to be just for children, it's going to be for family. We are thinking about the whole community. We are not thinking to have just a place to serve you food. We really want to sell an experience there, you know, that you feel welcome, everybody is welcoming into the place, a place we really love to have a clean place, nice decorated. You know that you go there and you feel comfortable and you really want to buy there and stay there. The next one, once again, as I mentioned, we are so excited to be part of the community. And if anybody has any question, please feel free to do it right now. And thank you.
Is this time for
Thank you
questions?
very
I'm
much.
in a butter.
Yep, just hold on one moment, please.
Yep.
Okay.
So
One
please,
by one.
please keep yourselves muted until you're called on. I am going to read all of the names of the direct abutters so that everybody who's potentially on the call is aware that they're a direct abutter, just in case they're not. The direct abutters that did register within the time period that's required in order to speak aloud are Caitlin Nurbon, Lily Nichols, Joseph Donovan, Michael Etzel, Tom Christofferson, Caitlin Monahan, Jeff Kimball, Pia Christofferson, Kate Bergstrom, Jeff Griswold, Konstantin Novakivsky, and Lauren Pressler. Those are the people who are allowed to speak and not through the chat. So if you are interested in speaking, if you could please raise your hand and we'll take people one at a time. If you're unsure how to raise your hand, shoot me a message in the chat and we can go that way as well. I don't see any hands raised. Oh, there's one. Lauren Pressler, if you'd like to go ahead and speak.
Is the intent that there would be any sort of music or live music at the venue, either inside or outside?
Thank you, Lauren, for your question. I had a meeting before with the city, you know. Lena Tramelli, she directed this meeting, and that was one of the questions. Once again, we are not pretending to be a bar. We are not a bar. We are not going to have a live music. Yes, we will have music because, you know, who wants to go into a restaurant or into a place and it's totally quiet? That's not the whole idea. But our idea is to have music. But once again, we are not going to plan not to have a bar or not to have a live music inside or outside. And as you know, the space is not that big to have a live music either, you know?
Okay, are there any other abutters who I spoke their name that would like to speak aloud? We do have a couple questions in the chat. All right, we're going to move to the chat then. This question is, how do you plan to manage the double parking situation on Sumner Street that will happen if 80% of customers are to go or delivery?
Okay, that was one of the questions raised on the last meeting. And trust me, our whole idea is to have everything ready. Like in the other places where we have service, the driver normally goes in, take the bag is ready. They don't have to wait there. They take the bag and they just run away. Trust me, it doesn't take even 2 minutes. What is the problem? It's not gonna be just for us. It's gonna be for the whole street that we have that problem. I guess that we should work something with with the city probably to get a spot on the front, probably one of the spots just for takeout. That's something that we are planning to work with the city or with the transportation just to get the spot.
Okay. And remember, if I did not read your name off of that list, you are not, unfortunately, not able to speak this evening. You do have to register before a certain deadline, as well as be an actual abutter within the 300-foot radius. Thank you for answering that question. The next one is, I'm a direct abutter on Webster Street. The deck is 40 or 50 feet from my bedroom. What time will the deck close?
We're talking about the patio.
Yes.
Okay, the patio is going to be closed when the restaurant is closed. But remember, once again, we don't have a live music. That's the whole idea. If that's going to be an issue, we could probably close it before that. But the whole idea is to manage the space, to manage the volume and everything else.
So do you have a specific time where you plan on closing the patio?
It was 11 o'clock. If that was an issue that we see that is probably getting too loud at 11 o'clock, nobody wants to sit there at 11 o'clock, you know, especially on the back of the patio. There is no view on the back of the patio. We can close it probably at 10 a.m., 10 p.m., you know, an hour before or hour and a half before. You know, that's something that we can work with the city, with the tenants.
Okay.
On the building.
And then this is another abutter. What is the construction plan for that space?
You know, our plan is as soon as we get everything ready, just to have it ready for in 2 months, no later than that.
I think they're probably asking, like, do you have a timeline for the construction? How long it will take?
Yeah, once again, as soon as we have all the permits and everything else, it normally doesn't take us more than 2 months because we have the same concept and we have our team, you know, from other locations. Means that it's gonna take everything depends of the permits that we get. As soon as we get the permits, we start the work. It will be like 2 months.
Okay, it looks like you have a coworker of yours, Daniela, who would like to say something. Is that somebody
Thank
you
you
work
so
with?
much. Yes.
Okay, go ahead, Daniela.
So when they ask about the parking issues, because we know that it's pretty like full the street, but we have an app that the people can order ahead, and we will have everything ready. So if you go and pick up, if you already pay for the food, it doesn't take more than 5 minutes, as my Carlos say. So we have that app. We already have that app working in the other restaurant, and it's working pretty good. So customers will be got like quickly, and it's contactless because we will place the orders in like a special place for that. So you just go check the number and go. So that is something that I think it won't be like a lot of issues because the people it won't take long for them.
Okay, thank you. This question, hold on, let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Will there be appropriate ventilation and or exhaust for frying food and food smells?
Oh yes, trust me. As any restaurant, especially for security reasons and everything, the food in the whole HVC is going to be, you know, adequate for the restaurant. If not, that's going to be a disaster now.
Okay. I don't have any other questions in the chat. Remember, if you have a question, please feel free to put it in the chat. We'll give you a 30 seconds more. Get one in there. And then we'll move on. Okay. There's a few questions about your liquor license. Are you looking for a full liquor license or just beer and wine?
No, full liquor license.
Oh, full liquor license. Okay. That was the last question.
Even though we are not a full bar, we are not, and as you saw the layout, we don't have a bar, you know, but because
but you'll be serving all
yes.
types of liquor. Okay. Okay. That's all we have. Thank you.
Hey, thank you very much for, if anybody If anybody has any other question, feel free to ask. And if not, thank you. We are so excited to be part of the community. Hopefully we're going to start.
I actually
soon there.
have one question, and I don't know. I apologize if you said this already. Will there be table service, or is this a takeout style only?
We are going to have tables, but it's not full service. You go to the counter to order what you want, and you sit down. You sit yourself.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
So just as a reminder, Santa Fe restaurant is presenting this evening, and they will present again next month, because this is a liquor license request. They present to the entire community 1 month, and then they come back for us to vote on them next month. Carlos, can I ask you to put yourself on mute? Thank you. The people behind you sound fascinating. Just kidding, just teasing you. So similar to our development process where we meet at the abutter level, having our planning and zoning meeting, and then they come to vote at the full meeting. Because the liquor license has a larger impact on the community, we ask those who are looking for the liquor license to present at a general meeting, our monthly meeting here, and then to present a second time so that the community has a chance to ask questions, express concerns. If you have concerns, now would be the time to bring them forth so that the owner and the people who are requesting the liquor license have the opportunity to collect feedback or potentially respond to them. So this is where you would want to share that, because the plan that they present next month, we want to be the final plan that we vote on and then gets presented to the licensing board. So saying that, I just want to give like 5 more seconds to see if anything else shows up in the chat, and we will start to prep for our next presenter, which I need to. Sorry, go ahead, Andrew.
I just wanted to reiterate to everyone who was direct abutter this evening, just what our procedure is. So in order to speak as a direct abutter, you have to fall within the 300-foot radius. And then you also have to register by 7 p.m. the day prior. And the reason we ask you to do that is just to make sure that we want to make sure everybody that is stating that they're a abutter is actually an abutter. So that gives us the time as volunteers to make sure that you are actually in a abutter and able to speak. It allows us to keep this meeting concise and also very organized. We do have another question here. The question is can an abutter who missed this meeting vote at the next meeting? And the answer to that question is yes, but you would have had to have been present at last month's meeting in order for that to work, because you have to be present at one of the past 3 meetings. And correct, I'm not saying that
No,
correctly.
not if you're in a butter. If you're in a butter within the 300-foot radius,
Thank you. Sorry,
you can vote no matter what.
Forgetting we changed that. I'm sorry. So yes, to answer the question, yes, if you are a direct abutter, you can. Or did we decide that was 300-foot radius?
It's the 300-foot radius.
Thank you. Sorry. So if you will fall within the city's 300-foot radius, and we have a lovely link that I can put in the chat that helps determine if you are in a abutter. You can put your address in there and find out, or the address of the project, I mean. And I just wanted to make sure everyone was aware of that.
Andrew, Margaret, can I just add one thing on 303? This is Richard Lins relative to the permitting for this. So just to remind everyone, I know that the records are probably a little older on this, but this had gone through a full process already for full service with alcohol back in 2016. I can forward the letter over. So the presentation that was made, it was actually very important that full service be included back in late 2016 was so that this could be a use for full service with alcohol. And I understand, it's important that they, the operator come in and make a presentation. I just, I want to be clear that the JPNA has already voted on this for a full service restaurant for this location.
Okay, barring any other questions, we're going to move on. And the next up on our agenda is the Trustees of Reservations, Gabrielle Ramirez, who is the outreach coordinator. And I do see her here this evening. Please feel free to take yourself off mute.
Hello, everyone. It's so lovely to see familiar faces. I hope everyone is doing well. I wanted to join tonight's meeting to reintroduce myself. Many of you know me from when I worked at NOAA. I'm currently the Community Outreach Coordinator for the Trustees Boston Waterfront Initiative, and I'll be working on the Pierce Park 3 project. I know some of you have heard from Amy and Nick about the Pierce Park 3 project and the survey that we're using to gather community input. We're still very interested in hearing about the community's thoughts, feedbacks, questions, and comments about the park project and the draft design. So we're back to remind you to fill out the survey if you haven't, and if you did, thank you. We really appreciate it. And if you could share it with your neighbors, your friends that you know that go to the park, community feedback will be used in the design process of the park to ensure that the park and the programming reflect the needs and desires of the community. I'm going to put in the chat the link to the survey that you can fill out in English or in Spanish, as well as my email, so you can reach out if you have any questions or comments. And additionally, I will always be presenting about youth opportunities. I'm so excited to share that the Trustees is hiring 12 high school youth for their Waterfront Ambassadors program. It's a 7-week paid job for youth of ages 15 to 18. The program runs in July and August. This year, the program will be hybrid, so they'll be doing some virtual work, but also in person, helping out with Pierce Park 3. They're going to be working in East Boston and across the city on different waterfront issues like climate resilience, green infrastructure, and public access, and so many more. We're excited to have them on board with us and helping us with the Pierce Park 3 project. And I'm also going to share the information so that young people can apply, and the information of the program manager. If you know anyone of the ages 15 to 18 that are looking for a summer job, have them apply. It's going to be a great opportunity. They're going to be in the community and they're going to be working on really important stuff. And so I'll be putting that in the chat, and Andrew, if you could share it with everyone.
I will definitely do that. There are no questions in the chat. Anybody have any questions? I'll go ahead and share that now. That looks like we're good with questions.
Thank you so much for sharing, Gabriella. It's good to see you again. And I just want to second the survey that Gabriella shared with us today. I've attended a few of the trustees meetings talking about the plan. I see Mary shaking her head. I know she's attended a couple as well. They are listening. Things that I know other people have put into the survey that they're looking for, I've seen show up on the plan. In presenting the plan, I've heard them reference things that I've put into the survey as something they're either able to do or something they're trying to do more of, or trying to make work. So this is a wonderful way for us to provide feedback. Also, Gabriella, I just shake your head on this one. I assume we're going to be having more public meetings to review the plans in the future. Absolutely. And we will certainly announce those in our meeting minutes. We encourage everyone to attend and participate. Pierce Park Phase 3 is going to be with us for a long time. And we are, we want to have as much impact so that we can have a usual space that we can all be proud of. So thank you very much for being here today. And we hope that we'll have you back again soon. Moving on the agenda. We have, my agenda is moving on me. We have, next up, we have 304 Sumner Street. This is a proposal to erect an addition and change occupancy from 3 to 4 units, or 3 to 4 family. The property owner is 304 Sumner Street LLC. This is being presented this evening by attorney Richard Lins Esquire. And this is going to be up for a vote. So please proceed, Richard, and we will go right ahead, and we will check in with you later.
Thank you, Margaret, and good evening, everyone. The project proponent, De Niro Rosa, is with us, as well as the project architect, Eric Zackerson. we'll introduce in a moment. Let me just run real quick through the project overview that we did present at the JPNA Planning and Zoning previously. This is an existing 3-family structure at 304 Sumner. It sits on about a 2,100 square foot lot. We are proposing a vertical addition as well as a rear addition, and we would be changing the occupancy from 3 units to 4 units. Intended to have 2 2-bedroom units and 2 3-bedroom units in total, and this would be intended for home ownership upon completion. Next slide. Real quick overview, the BPD abstract shows this is in the 3F 2000 district. Pretty typical for the lots in that section of Sumner Street, about a little over 20 feet wide by 100 feet deep. And the existing structure is shown, which is a little bit more shallow than the ones adjoining it to the left, as well as what appears generally on the block on Sumner Street. Next slide. Quick overview of the existing structure. You can see in relationship to what's around it. Next slide. And we can just jump through these relatively quickly. There we go. So the existing structure is the one in the center of the screen. Has somewhat of a pitched roof, a little different than what's to the left and to the right of it. And when we get to the plan, you'll see what Eric has come up with for the vertical addition. Next slide. Just a view of the context looking down Sumner. Next slide. And looking back up towards Orleans. Next slide. So at this time, I'll let Eric Zackerson talk a little bit about the design here and what we're preserving with respect to the building and how he's integrated the addition into what appears on the left and the right. So Eric, if you could just walk us through quickly the materials and the design.
Thank you, Rich. Yes, so we want to preserve kind of that the brick look or brick facade of at least the kind of the front 2 stories on the building on the right, as well as relate to that, and the building on the left is all brick. So we're bringing up the brick for the first 2 floors, and then up above we're going to do a vertical panel that'll offset that top floor, give it a nice little cornice line that separates it from the 3rd floor from the 2nd floor. And then we've got a 4th floor on this that we set back from the top so that it maintains that 3rd floor line. But as you can see, kind of our building is a little bit short, and that's on purpose so that it relates more to our 3-story neighbor on the right and feels a little bit like that. So we kind of keep the 3rd story short and have the 4th story set back. And both the 3rd and 4th floor would have cement fiberboard panels to kind of echo the clapboard siding that you see in a lot of the buildings, including the 2 to the right in this photograph.
Next slide, please. So just a quick look at the layout for the floor plans. We're not proposing any livable space in the lower level basement area. So the first main level is almost at grade. Very similar as you move up to levels 2 and level 3, as well as level 4. They show on level 4 the setback, which we're looking at the far right of the screen, which will have that area towards the front on Sumner Street for outdoor space. We call it a roof deck. It's actually be more of a balcony off of the 4th level unit. Next slide. So just showing our elevations. We're a little over 40 feet in total height. We're not proposing a roof deck above the 4th level, so there's no roof deck and no head house associated with this. So the height of the building sits just over 40 feet. Next slide. Showing our elevation. This is our right side elevation. And again, you can see the relationship of that 4th level as well as the proposed addition. Next slide. Our left elevation is set back a bit, so we are able to include openings on the left side. But again, you can see the relationship of the 4th level as it lines up with the front of the building. Next slide. By way of zoning summary, this is a proposed 4-unit dwelling. That would be considered a multifamily under the zoning code, and therefore a variance is necessary for use. We do meet the minimum lot size and lot width. Our side yard is set at 0.2 feet left and right. We do require a variance for that portion of the addition. That will be within 2.5 feet. We don't really alter the front setback of the building that's already at the front property line, so no relief would be necessary. We do propose a rear yard condition of about 20.25 feet with the addition. 30 feet would be the required setback in this neighborhood. So we do require a variance for that a little over 9 feet. Our floor area ratio is currently allowed to be at 1.0. We would be increasing that to 2.7, and therefore relief for FAR would be necessary. The height of our building, as I said, is just over 40 feet. We aren't proposing any roof deck or head house. So the 4 stories will be the entire height of the building. Our minimum open space total would be about 107 square feet per unit. We could increase that by adding a roof deck above the upper level, but the property owners decided not to include that as part of the plan. 300 square feet would be required, and therefore variance would be necessary. Last is parking. The existing condition of the building already is a pre-existing 3-family. The zoning code says that you do not apply the parking rules to the existing conditions, only to the proposed new units that you're requesting. And therefore, we would only be required to have 1 parking space under the code. City's policy is generally not to permit curb cuts, even if we were able to add a parking spot. The city does not prefer that you make a curb cut if all you need to do is accommodate 1 parking spot to comply. They'd rather you request the variance. So in this case, we're going to ask for the variance for the 1 parking spot. Next slide. So I'm happy to answer any questions, Andrew, Margaret.
I'll do my best to answer. Just get my attention with the wait word and ask.
Andrew, are you going to read off the list of abutters? Oh, you're on mute, dear.
Actually, the same as the other ones, since
Oh.
we're just across the street. And I don't see any questions in here at the moment. Does anyone have any questions? This is just a comment here, no questions. It looks great. Very excited for the existing structure to be replaced. Okay.
Yeah, Andrew, just for clarification, we are preserving the existing structure. We're just modifying it with additions to the rear and in the top.
Understood.
Okay.
Oh, we did get just one question. Would there be any possibility that the construction of this and the restaurant could be happening at the same time?
And not that I'm representing the tenant, but I do represent the owner of the land where the restaurant is. My understanding is the restaurant, assuming it gets the necessary, I guess it's more the health permits, because there's already approved for a restaurant at that space. It doesn't really require anything more than probably a short form permit for fit out. That would happen relatively quick. My guess is that would take about 2 months for completion of fit out. This is probably a little further away from that time. So I don't believe they'll be happening at the same time.
Okay. This question is, I believe a raccoon family lives in the attic. Will they be removed respectfully?
I know displacement's an important issue in the neighborhood, but if there are raccoons there, yes, we will be getting rid of them.
Sorry, that's a first for me. I didn't expect that.
Same here.
They can't be that big, because if they were like bear size, we'd all know about them.
Good question, though. Make sure the raccoons are
Very
safe.
true. Very true.
That looks like it's the last question.
Okay. We do have one other agenda item, and then we will make announcements and reminders for this evening. So if we could ask everyone to hold on. Last month, we announced the beginning of our election cycle. We are now would like to announce the middle of our election cycle. Nominations for the board for the Jeffreys Point Neighborhood Association officially opened this month. And she's not here for us to thank her, but Judy Restrepo, who has been a board member for about a year now, I think, is actually moving to Eagle Hill. So we have 3 seats up for election. Andrew and I are up for re-election if we are nominated and accept the nomination. And Judy is leaving, so we do have 1 open seat. In just a second, I will officially state nominations are open, and anyone can nominate anyone. The voting for that election will occur next month. Nominations technically remain open until voting starts. So if you are interested in running and are not sure this evening, or not sure if you wish to be nominated this evening, that is okay. We will have an opportunity at the next meeting to also collect additional nominations. Correct me if I'm wrong on this one. I believe it's is it a 2-year or 3-year commitment? I've been here forever, so I don't really worry about it. Yep, we are asking for a 2-year commitment. And then once we have the people who are elected, the board actually meets and then decides who is in what position. So if you have a preference or interested in a particular position, that is certainly something that we can discuss. So I hereby officially open nominations for the Jeffreys Point Neighborhood Association. And we'll keep this open for a minute or two. Please put nominations through the chat. You can nominate someone who is not here. We will need to verify whether or not they accept before we could put them on the ballot. Let us know as you see any come through the chat.
Sorry, we do have, it's just easier for me to answer this question that's been posted in here. The question that was posted here is regarding the restaurant. What percentage of the vote does the restaurant need to be approved? It's just a reminder to everybody that our position is advisory, and we're not, there is no approval or disapproval necessarily. This would be something that then goes toward, I'm assuming, the Alcohol Beverage Commission and the licensing board. So it basically what would happen is a vote would take place. We would state what the results of that vote are, and whether it's if it's more on the yay than the nay, then we just state that the neighborhood was in favor or not in favor. I hope I explained that. Okay, we are seeing, other than you and I, Margaret, I'm not seeing any other names being thrown out there.
So were you nominated, Andrew?
Yes, and you were.
Okay. So, and Andrew, do you accept your nomination?
Sure.
Could you read off?
Margaret, do you accept your nomination?
Yes, I accept my nomination. And thank you very much. I appreciate. I'd like to thank whoever nominated me. I do appreciate it. And just a reminder, this is the opening of nominations. Nominations do not close. If you are interested in becoming a board member and you have questions or you have concerns, we invite you to either email the board at board@jeffreyspoint.org or to contact any board member that you are comfortable with to have a conversation. Certainly, a board of 5 is better than a board of 4. Many hands make light work. So we appreciate that. I'm going to ask Andrew one more time if he sees anything else going through the chat, and then I'm going to proceed to housekeeping announcements. No?
We did just get a nomination for Mary Cole, but Mary Cole's seat is not up for re-election at the moment, but I'm sure she appreciates it.
Excellent, excellent. So a reminder that the planning and zoning meeting for this month is scheduled for Wednesday, May 19th. The agenda will be published 1 week in advance. So on Wednesday of this week, we will publish that agenda. This is a voting meeting. We will be voting on 304 Sumner Street. In order to be eligible, you need to have either be present at this meeting and present at one of 3 previous meetings to be eligible to vote, or you need to be a direct abutter. Emails will go out to the email address that you registered for this Zoom, and they will go out on or before Wednesday, the 12th at 7 p.m. Ballots need to be returned by 7 p.m. on Friday, the 14th. Late ballots are unable to be accepted. We use what's known as what's it called? We use a special program that to both send out the ballots, track the ballots, and return them. So we're unable to accept late ballots, although we do appreciate the participation. If you do not receive an email by late Wednesday evening and think that you are eligible to vote or have not received one in error, please email board@jeffreyspoint.org and we will check our records and see if we need to send one to you. As always, the minutes to this meeting along with the recording will be posted on jeffreyspoint.org. And just one more plug that that the Clean Up Your Block, Boston Shines, Eastie Shines is this Saturday. It is a great time. You will get to meet several board members. You will get to plant flowers. Some people will bring their dogs for petting. There will be children to wave at. It is a very nice event, and it is enjoyed by everyone who participates every year. And again, a thank you to Mary for organizing this great event. And if you need anything, we are here for you. Thank you so much and have a great evening.
Okay.